Welcome to CloudLessons. Let's start by talking about the technical overview of Azure Active Directory B2C today. In today's lesson, we will discuss what an Azure AAD B2C tenant is, along with all of the resources that can be available underneath. We will also discuss the different account kinds and user attributes that can be found within the B2C tenant. So, what exactly is an Azure AAD B2C tenant? An Azure Active Directory B2C tenant is a representation of your organization who wants to engage with their customers. AAD B2C tenants and AAD tenants are sometimes confused, but they are not the same. An AAD B2C tenant is a resource that sits next to an AAD tenant and contains data for every customer of an organization. By signing into the Azure portal and clicking the Directories Plus subscription button, you can access the directories or tenants to which your account is linked. You can see that there are two tenants mentioned in this case. Azure AAD B2C tenant is the one mentioned above, and AAD tenant is the other. We will continue with the steps to create an Azure AAD B2C tenant in the upcoming videos. Now let's look at the main resources that an Azure AAD B2C tenant uses. First comes the directory itself. The directory is where Azure AAD B2C maintains the credentials for your users, their profile information, and the registrations for your applications. Then comes app registrations. To enable identity management to the applications that we want to integrate with B2C, we have to register an application with Azure AAD B2C tenant. User flows and custom policies are the next key resources. User flows make it easy to enable frequent identity actions like sign up, sign in, and profile editing. Whereas, you may create complex identity workflows that are specific to your business, clients, staff members, partners, and citizens by using custom policies. And at last, that we have to consider for now is policy keys. These are the encryption and signing keys for validating tokens, client secrets, etc. Let's now examine the different kinds of accounts that the AAD B2C tenants directory has. First is a work account. A work account has access to a tenant's resources and has the ability to manage tenants if it has the administrator role. Using the new user option in the Azure portal, a work account is created by providing the required information, including the user's name, email address, profile, and directory role. The second type of account is a guest account. These accounts are invited to our B2C tenant and are stored in an external Azure Active Directory. For instance, a user's identity from an AAD tenant could be invited to an AAD B2C tenant for administrator rights. Third type of account is a consumer account. These are the user accounts that actually represents a customer, and these are handled by user flows or custom policies. Since B2C can be linked to other identity providers, consumer accounts can be associated with either local sign-in, where users' details are stored in an AAD B2C tenant, or they can use their social accounts from other identity providers like Facebook and Google. Let's review the final topic for today. User attributes in Azure AAD B2C. Basically, there are two types. The first category is built-in attributes, which are predefined by AAD B2C and can be used in user flows or custom policies. The second category is called custom attribute, and it allows us to define any sort of attribute for any user. They can be utilized in user flows and custom policies once they have been created. In the upcoming lessons, we will explore how to use the Azure portal, also the Graph API, to create and use custom attributes in our user flows and custom policies. By going to the User Attributes blade, you may view the attributes that are present inside a B2C tenant. We will cover more complex scenarios for AAD B2C with a short description and a detailed demonstration in this upcoming video series. Meanwhile, stay tuned.